I mean, last year, well, it started pretty well. Obviously, I had an injury that took me out for a good majority of the season, but it started pretty well. It started pretty fast. I mean, the Maryland game, I had like 6 or 7 catches, I think. The Pitt game, I had 2 catches. Idaho game, I had a catch. So the season was starting off pretty well, but obviously some injury challenges, but it's nothing. It's just some adversity, basically.
Did you feel like it kind of stunted your development then to start the way that you did and then to have to miss as much time as you did?
Honestly, not really, because I got to develop like the mental aspect of it and see it from maybe like an offensive coordinator or like a wide receiver coach's perspective more. And I learned how to study film much better. So I don't think it really stunted my development because physically I'm as good as ever. So I just actually gained the mental aspect more. So I think it might have helped me.
All right, Nate, I'm going to go ahead and move on. If you can mute yourself real quick. Mark Brennan, I'm going to unmute you. Go ahead. Or I believe you can unmute yourself.
I got it, Pat. Do you hear me?
All right, go ahead, Mark.
Cam, can you take us through what happened to you last year? I mean, we're kind of a year removed from it. And how frustrating was it for you to be kind of in that position to make an impact and have it kind of taken away from you?
I mean, anytime football is taken away for a brief moment, it obviously hurts because it's a big part of my life. But, I mean, I just used it as a learning lesson, I guess. I mean, it obviously hurt a little bit more against my home states, being I'm from Maryland. I wanted to make a big impact, which I did, but I didn't get to finish that game, and kind of hurt me a little bit. But other than that, I mean, obviously it's frustrating not being able to play and make an impact for my team, especially with how good we performed getting to the Cotton Bowl, winning the Cotton Bowl. Obviously wanted to make an impact in that game. But I just had to be a crush for my teammates, be there for my teammates, and uplift them and support them. And I think it actually helped me.
And can you tell us? I think we saw you hobbling around with your foot in something or another. Is there anything you can enlighten us to with that?
Yeah, I was just in a boot. It was like a lower limb injury.
Cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're muted, Pat.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. I'm an idiot. Elton, you're next. Can you hear me? Are we good?
I can hear you.
Go ahead and unmute yourself, Elton. Right. Who has a question, just use the hand raise thing, and we'll go from there. So apologize for that. And here.
Thanks, Pat. Hey, Cam, how are you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Good. Hey, I know that Coach Stubblefield joined the program earlier this spring. You didn't have a full spring to work with him or a summer. Just kind of, what's been your early impressions of him, working with him, through like virtual means, and then since you've been back on campus, what are some things you enjoy about him, and what are some takeaways from his coaching style that you kind of gleaned?
I like Stubbs. I mean, he's a real personable person. I mean, he's definitely a player's coach. Playing at Purdue, he understands what it's like to play Big Ten football, what it's like to be in our shoes. So I like his coaching style a lot. I mean, basically, we've been working for a pretty good time now. So I got a good feel on how he coaches. We've been practicing for like a solid amount of time. But yeah, he definitely understands what it's like to be a Big Ten receiver, and I love that as a coach. And I like his coaching style because he understands like little things that DBs do and little tricks of the trade that receivers can do to combat that, and I like that a lot.
All right, so you good, Elton? We'll swing back around. So Nubius, did I pronounce that correctly? I hope I did. And go ahead and unmute your.
It's new bias. Like you went to bias and got us some snacks.
Awesome, love it. All right, so you're up. Go ahead, sir.
Go. So Cam, earlier we talked to Jahan Dotson. He talked about how the receivers are being a little underrated. You know, he's saying how you guys are a better group than people perceive. What do you feel when you hear that, and what do you feel just about the way the receivers are perceived so far?
I definitely say we're underrated. But it's a good underrated because it's kind of like a underdog story a little bit. I'm anxious to show y'all what we got in store. It's basically just putting a little chip on our shoulder and it's making us work harder.
You're welcome for follow-ups if you have any more, Tobias.
Yeah, and then Cam, I wanted to ask you something about Coach Franklin. What has he meant, particularly in the pandemic, with all the Black Lives Matter things going on and everything else, allowing you guys to be engaged in that and also offering a sport? What has that meant to you? What has that been like?
It's meant a lot. Like he's going above and beyond with the best, with especially like the social injustice stuff. Like we've had extensive meetings about it. And we've met like as players only. He's let us have time to talk with us as a team. Then he's also brought in like the police chief to talk to us. So he's been going above and beyond with stuff like that. And during the pandemic, it's obviously hard because the information just fluctuates so much. But he's really been doing his best with trying to get us good information and talking to the captains of the team and keeping us informed and just not having us just go on like the emotional roller coaster of just this or that, stuff like that. But he's been doing a really good job.
All right. Tobias, we will come back if there are any follow-ups after that. So, Elton Hayes, I believe you have a follow-up, but if it's okay, I'm going to go to Ben Faree, who hasn't asked one yet, and then I'll come back, okay? So, Ben Faree, go ahead. Unmute yourself.
Hey, Cam, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
What's the biggest difference, do you think, from Sean Clifford going into this year than from last year?
I would say his maturity in the pocket. I feel like also his accuracy is much better. I think he's improved on his accuracy a lot, and just I guess I don't know what quarterbacks do, is throwing motion or something like that, but it's way more accurate, and he's definitely more mature. I feel like that year, his first year playing a lot really helped him a lot, and he's just mature. He's calm and cool and in control back there for real, honestly.
All right. We'll have a chance for a follow-up in a little bit. So, Elton Hayes, go ahead, sir.
All right. Hey, Cam, TJ Jones and John Dunmore were two guys who came in last year as freshmen, highly rated recruits, kind of just got their feet wet with the program. How have you seen them over the past year kind of develop, maturity-wise and their grasp of the game?
Oh, the Florida boys, I love them. Being from Florida, it's a culture shock coming here, kind of being at Penn State and snow and all that. But they definitely made an impact. I mean, obviously TJ's speed and the way JD runs his routes is just a different type of flavor, and they just matured physically a lot. Like they got bigger, they got faster, they got stronger. And I love the way that they're developing. I mean, they're understanding this new offense better, and they're continuing to grow, and I like that.
Thank you.
Okay, Mark Brennan, go ahead.
Cam, I don't know that we've ever had a chance to ask you about the transfer portal in 2019. Can you take us through kind of going into it and then working your way back out of it?
At that point, I was just trying to make the best decision for myself, and coming back was the best decision. That's basically it.
And I don't know if you're comfortable talking about this or not, but if you're not, it's fine. But I wonder if you could tell us about your mom, Kelly Sullivan. I saw that she passed away. I'm sorry about that. But can you give us kind of what her story is and what she means to you?
I mean, my mom passed away when I was 3 years old from cancer, obviously. She means a lot to me. I mean, I got her tatted on my body. I pray to her every game, every practice. That's just my mom. I mean, I just play for her when I'm on the field and just try to make her proud, basically.
I appreciate you answering that. I know it probably wasn't easy. Thank you.
No problem.
All right, Nate Bauer.
Kim, what kind of opportunity do you feel like you have personally in front of you this year?
Oh, I mean, I have an opportunity to make plays. The way Soraka's offense is set up is explosive. And I just have the opportunity to step in there and catch the ball, make plays, score touchdowns, and hopefully push us to that championship, basically.
And then if I could, do you feel like there's an opportunity for a starting spot? Like, I don't know if, how that matters. Obviously, you guys kind of rotate it at receiver, but do you feel like there's a starting opportunity for you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, but like you said, we rotate all the time. So, I mean, starting doesn't really affect anything. It's just basically off of just playmaking. And I feel like I have a great ability to make plays.
Okay. Nubias, your follow-up, sir? Oh, unmute yourself.
Yeah, man. Gotta learn this technology one day, right? You think after like 7 months we get better at it. But Cam, I guess this is a simple question, but maybe not. What made you decide to actually play this year? Not the transfer stuff, but just like knowing everything with the pandemic, assessing the risk, looking at all the stuff going on. What made you decide, hey, this is what I want to do?
I just had faith in like the medical staff. I mean, they've gone through like extensive stuff. Like they've thought about every scenario, every opportunity, every situation, and I felt really comfortable coming back to play. I always wanted to play in the fall, and we got that opportunity, so I'm excited for that. But I felt really comfortable about all the testing and all the other protocols that we have in place.
All right. Okay, Andrew, go ahead.
Hey, Cam, thanks for doing this. What do you know about Coach Stubblefield's playing days at Purdue and in the NFL? And what do you think those experience bring to his coaching abilities for the wide receiver position group?
I know I don't want to mess up the stats, but I think he's like the leading receiver all time at Purdue or something like that. And he likes to brag about that a lot. But no, I think it just helps him be relatable, especially at this position. I mean, he's played it. He's been in our shoes. He's been in our cleats. So he understands exactly what it's like, even if it's a couple years removed. So I think that really helps him. That really helps him be relatable, and he understands how to win against DBs. Obviously, if he's the all-time leading receiver for Purdue, so it gives him some extra like dependability and basically like that.
Okay, Nate, go ahead.
Kim, what was your situation in the spring? Did you have somebody to throw to you? Did you feel like that was time well spent?
You're talking about like when I was like in quarantine at home?
Yeah.
Oh, I was just basically working by myself. Being in quarantine, you kind of gotta like space out from everybody, so I didn't really have people to throw to me at all. I just was working on my feet, working on being quicker, being faster, being stronger. And I didn't really have a quarterback to throw to me, but it definitely was not time. It was time well spent in quarantine. I used it to my advantage for sure.
And I apologize if you already answered this, but at what point did you feel like you were back to 100%?
During quarantine,
okay.
Basically. I felt good coming back in the summer and everything. I felt 100% healthy.
Mark Brennan, go ahead.
Okay, I'm here. Hey, Cam, I noticed that you're a journalism major. Is that accurate?
Yeah, broadcast journalism, yeah.
So what are your goals there?
Oh, you talking about
after football? Yeah, after football.
Actually, I'm a theater minor, and I'm trying to be an actor after this. So that's my transition. after football. But also, broadcast journalism is so fun. I love being in front of the camera, and I love recording and stuff like that. So who knows what the future holds, but I love acting as well.
And one other one I wanted to ask, how much of a leader do you feel you have to be in that room? I mean, you haven't played a ton, but you've been around a while, and you have a new coach, you have some real young players. How much of a leader do you feel you have to be?
I do feel like I need to be a leader as one of the vets in the group or one of the older guys. I feel like they can count on me, and I can be accountable to hold everybody else to uphold the standard from years past. So I do feel that chip to be a leader.
Elton, go ahead.
Hey Cam, you're a Bowie guy. You're from the DMV. I'm from Washington D.C., so I understand the influence that Penn State has in that region. What kind of led you to pick Penn State over, say, like a program out in College Park in Maryland? And what does it mean to you to be able to play against the Terrapins after what happened to you last season, getting to face them again this year?
Well, first I'm excited to play regardless. But being from Maryland, coming to Penn State, I mean, it means a lot. I mean, there's a lot of people from where I'm from that's been to Penn State and succeeded, like Marcus Allen. So I just kind of follow in those footsteps and stuff. But obviously, coming to campus and talking to the coaches and feeling the family atmosphere, obviously coming to Beaver Stadium and seeing that atmosphere is crazy. That's what kind of made me lean towards going to Penn State. And obviously, I feel like I made the right choice.
Good. Okay, Tobias, go ahead. Donnie, I got you next, all right?
I mute myself again. You mentioned your we're gonna get this right, man. I love it. Gab, you mentioned your broadcast background or getting into it. Who do you watch? Who do you like? I mean, from sports as well as who's like, how do you consume and who you watching?
On the broadcast journalism side, obviously Shannon Sharp is a personality that is excellent. But Stephen A. Smith, obviously looking at former players like LaDainian Tomlinson coming in and doing their thing. And also like Michael Strahan, who's he can do a bunch of different things. I like watching him as well. But just former players that have left the field and started doing their thing in the broadcast journalism game, I like to watch them a lot.
Okay, Donnie Collins, go ahead. And go ahead and unmute yourself. There you go.
Hey, Cam. What kind of acting would you like to do? I mean, who are your influences there? Are you more into theater, TV, movies? And what kind of steps do you think the receiving corps has taken since you guys have gotten back? I know they're two different kinds of questions.
Yeah. So I'll talk about acting first. On the acting side, I want to do a whole bunch of things: theater, TV, movies, a bunch of stuff like that. I mean, I watch actors like Leonardo DiCaprio, Samuel L. Jackson, Denzel. The big three, like Robert Pattinson and stuff like that. So I want to have a wide range in the acting world, but. Moving over to the football aspect of it, I think as a receiving corps, we just growing into a new offense. I think we're just starting to be more explosive, and we're starting to come into our own and build our own personality. I feel like, and that's our biggest asset right now.
Don Sauber, go ahead, unmute yourself.
Hey, Cam, thanks for taking the time. What was your reaction when you found out that this year wouldn't count toward eligibility? And have you thought about potentially, staying for an extra year if that's a possibility for you?
I honestly didn't really pay it any mind. I was more focused on playing, just thinking about the fall, being laser focused on trying to push all of my energy into playing in the fall, and it worked. So I didn't really take any time to really think about it, honestly.
Marth, go ahead. Unmute yourself, sir.
Hey, Cam, appreciate the time this morning. with you kind of getting on campus at the same time as Journey Brown, what are your thoughts on kind of everything he's overcome to get to where he's at? You know, being a 3-star guy, and then at the end of last season, looking like one of the best running backs in the country.
I'm so proud of Journey, man. Yeah, basically, we were like official visit roommates, and that's how our relationship came about. But yeah, he's just matured and grown so much. I mean, he came in behind like Saquon and Miles Sanders, so I mean, he had huge shoes to fill, and he basically filled them. And I'm so proud of him and what he's doing, man. I can't wait for this season and to see how much he grows.
Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Parsons, go ahead, sir.
Hey, Cam. Sorry if you've already been asked this before, but what's your impression of like the newer guys in the wide receiver room this year? I know you guys haven't like been in pads yet, or yesterday you were, but like, what's your impression of them so far?
Oh, I like them. They all came in. They all got different styles and different flavors to their game. Dre, Parker, Malik, Jaden. I like the different things that they bring to the game. I mean, Parker's quick. Keandre's competitive as hell. Malik is physical, and Jaden's fast, and he'll go up and get the ball. So I like all of their different styles.
Okay, Greg Pickle, go ahead.
Hey, Cam, how you doing?
Doing good.
Cam, what was it like getting the pads on again yesterday for the first time? And was there one moment at practice that was kind of like the one where it felt like camp was finally here, it was real, and you're really on the countdown to kick off after all the starting and stopping?
Yeah, putting on the pads just added a little bit, a little extra juice, and we love that. The moment where I was thinking like we're really about to start playing, I would say when we did like the Lions Pride in the beginning of the practice, that really made it feel like fall is here and football is coming, basically.
Okay. Donnie Collins, a follow-up?
Hey, Cam, you mentioned earlier like building a personality as a position group. How difficult is that to do? How much time does that take? And does that kind of have to come organically, or could you kind of do some things to urge that along?
I think it just comes organically, and obviously, not being all together for a long period of time doesn't help that. But I think as we started to practice more as a unit and we started to grow together, it just grows organically into what type of receiver group we want to be, and I think it's growing into that right now.
John Sauber?
Hey, Cam, has anyone sort of stepped up as a vocal leader now that KJ's not in the room anymore?
I would say it would be myself, Daniel George, and Jahan Dawson.
All right. Parth, is it Upadhyaya?
It's Upadhyaya. You're close, though.
All right. Awesome. Your turn.
Cam, I got one more Journey Brown question for you. What do you think it was exactly kind of towards the end of last season that made it click for him, made it all come together for him, en route to having that 202-yard Cotton Bowl game?
Honestly, I don't know. I think he just decided one day, like, I'm going to start snapping on people, and that's what he did.